The sound of glass shattering sliced through the penthouse like a scream. Maya froze, her heart pounding as she turned toward the sound. The little girl, Lily, stood beside the fallen vase, her small hands trembling. The floor glittered with broken glass and water, the white lilies scattered like fallen angels. And across the room, Adrian Blackwell's voice cut through the air. "What did I say about running in the house?" His tone wasn't raised, but the ice in it made Lily flinch. She didn't answer. Her lip quivered, and she took a shaky step back. Maya didn't think. She moved. "It was an accident," she said, stepping between them. Her heart was hammering, but she met his gaze without flinching. Adrian's eyes, gray and cold as winter steel, snapped to hers. "I wasn't speaking to you, Miss Chen." "I know," she said softly, "but she's 5. And terrified. You don't need to speak to her like that." He blinked once, slowly, as if the audacity of her words surprised him. "You've been here 6 days," he said. "And you're already overstepping." Maya didn't move. "Maybe. But if overstepping means protecting a child from fear, then I'm guilty." Lily clung to Maya's leg, hiding her face. Adrian exhaled sharply, his jaw tight. "Take her to her room. I'll handle the mess." "Handle it how?" Maya asked quietly. That did it. His eyes darkened, and his voice dropped lower. "Miss Chen, you forget your position. You're an employee. I don't owe you an explanation." For a heartbeat, the silence between them was electric, thick with unspoken words neither dared to say. Then Maya scooped Lily up, whispering, "It's okay, sweetheart. I've got you." As she carried the child down the hall, she felt Adrian's gaze on her back. It wasn't anger, exactly. It was something else. Something she couldn't name. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. The penthouse was quiet, but her mind wasn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Lily's frightened face. She knew she'd crossed a line. No one talked to Adrian Blackwell like that and kept their job. He was Manhattan's most feared billionaire for a reason, brilliant, ruthless, untouchable. But when she looked at him, she hadn't seen a monster. She'd seen a man drowning behind all that control. She was still lost in thought when her phone buzzed. A text. From Adrian. "Come to the study. Now." Her stomach flipped. That was it. She was fired. She got out of bed, threw on her robe, and forced herself toward the study. When she entered, Adrian was standing by the window, city lights painting his silhouette in gold and shadow. He didn't turn around. "Do you always challenge your employers?" he asked, his tone quiet but sharp. "Only when they deserve it," Maya said before she could stop herself. He turned then, his expression unreadable. "You think I deserved it?" "I think Lily deserved kindness." Adrian studied her like she was a puzzle. "You assume I don't care about my daughter." "I don't assume anything," Maya said, folding her arms. "But I saw her face, Mr. Blackwell. Fear shouldn't be the only thing a child feels around her father." Something flickered in his eyes, pain, maybe, but it was gone in an instant. "You're bold. I'll give you that. Most people don't speak to me this way. Maybe that's your problem." He almost smiled. "Almost. Careful, Miss Chen. You're dangerously close to unemployment." "Then fire me," she said quietly. "But I won't apologize for caring about her." Adrian looked at her for a long moment, his jaw working like he was fighting something inside him. Then he sighed and leaned back against the desk. "I'm not going to fire you." Maya blinked. "You're not?" "No," his voice softened just slightly. "Lily hasn't connected with anyone since her mother died. You're the first person she's let near her in months. I won't take that away from her." Maya's chest tightened. "Thank you." "Don't thank me," Adrian said. "Just follow the rules. I'm not good with chaos." She nodded slowly, though something in her rebelled at the word rules. He looked like a man who lived by them, ate them, slept by them. But Maya wasn't sure that was living at all. Over the next week, the strange dance between them continued. Adrian barked orders. Maya disobeyed half of them. He tried to stay distant. She kept breaking through without meaning to. And Lily, sweet, lonely Lily, was changing. Laughing more. Eating better. Running into Maya's arms like she'd finally found safety. One evening, Adrian came home earlier than usual. He paused in the doorway to the living room, watching as Maya and Lily built a fort out of blankets and couch cushions. Maya looked up and caught his gaze. For a split second, their eyes locked, and she saw something raw flash across his face before he turned away. "Mr. Blackwell," she said softly. "Do you want to join us?" He froze. No one had asked him that before, at least, not without an agenda. "I have work," he said stiffly. "Even billionaires can take 5 minutes off," she teased gently. Lily's small voice piped up. "Please, Daddy." Adrian hesitated, then sighed and took off his suit jacket. 5 minutes, he muttered, sitting awkwardly beside them. Lily giggled as Maya handed him a blanket. "You have to make a roof, Daddy." He tried and failed, earning a laugh from both of them. And for the first time, Maya heard it, Adrian Blackwell laughing. Low, real, unguarded. It was the sound of a man remembering what it felt like to be alive. But the moment didn't last. His phone buzzed. The spell broke. He glanced at the screen, his expression turning cold again. "Excuse me," he said, standing abruptly. Lily's smile fell. Maya's heart sank. And as he disappeared into his office, Maya wondered who, or what, kept pulling him away. She didn't know it yet, but that question would change everything. Before I continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. The following morning, Maya woke to the sound of little feet running down the hallway. She blinked, momentarily disoriented, before realizing she was still in her tiny room across from Lily's. Her heart squeezed. She was still here. She hadn't been fired, yet. She hurried to dress, brushing her hair into a neat bun before heading downstairs. Adrian was already in the kitchen, wearing a dark suit that looked like it had been tailored to his soul. His jaw was sharp, his expression unreadable, his hand holding a black coffee like it was a weapon. He didn't look up as she entered. "Good morning, sir," she said quietly. He finally raised his gaze, cold steel meeting warmth. "Miss Chen, you're still here." Her throat went dry. You didn't dismiss me yesterday." He took a long sip of his coffee. "I must have been distracted." Maya held his gaze. "By your daughter's tears, I hope." The air froze. His brows twitched, the smallest crack in his armor. "You're bold for a temporary employee." "Maybe. But someone has to remind you that Lily isn't just a schedule, Mr. Blackwell." He said nothing. Instead, he dropped his gaze to the newspaper in front of him, pretending to read while his mind clearly wasn't on the words. She knew she should stop. But she couldn't. "She asked for you last night," Maya whispered. "She said she dreamed about her mom." That got him. His fingers tightened around the coffee cup until his knuckles turned white. He didn't look up, but his silence screamed louder than words. "Eat with her this morning," Maya urged softly. "Just 10 minutes." He finally looked at her, and this time his voice was low, measured, dangerous. "You think you can fix what you don't understand?" "I think you're trying not to feel anything at all," she replied. For a second, something flickered in his eyes, pain, regret, maybe both. Then it was gone. "Breakfast is served at 8, he said, standing abruptly. "Join her." "I have meetings." She exhaled slowly after he left. The man was impossible, but the way his eyes softened for a heartbeat told her there was something buried beneath all that ice. Something broken. When she walked Lily to the dining room, the little girl beamed up at her. "Maya, do you think Daddy will eat with us today?" Maya smiled faintly, kneeling beside her. "Maybe. Let's make it a breakfast he can't resist." Together they made a mess of pancakes, giggling as flour dusted Lily's nose. It was the kind of laughter the house hadn't heard in years, and Adrian, on his way to the door, froze when he heard it. He turned back, watching from the doorway unseen. For a moment, his heart twisted in ways he didn't understand. When Lily noticed him, she squealed, "Daddy, look." Maya made a bunny pancake. Adrian hesitated. His instinct was to keep walking. But Lily's little voice, that innocent excitement, tugged at something deep. He stepped inside, his expression careful. "A bunny, huh?" Lily nodded proudly. "Eat with us." Maya stood frozen, afraid to breathe. Adrian's lips parted, ready to refuse, but the look in his daughter's eyes stopped him. He sighed softly and sat down. 10 minutes. Lily grinned. That's enough. The moment was awkward at first, heavy with unsaid things. But as Lily chatted about her drawings and Maya carefully avoided Adrian's gaze, something eased in the air. For the first time, Lily laughed, really laughed, and Adrian found himself staring at her, realizing how long it had been since he'd heard that sound. When breakfast ended, Adrian pushed his plate away and stood. You make decent pancakes, he said stiffly, almost like a compliment. Maya arched a brow. Decent? I'll take that as high praise coming from you. Something like amusement flickered in his eyes before he turned away. Don't let her stay up past 9, he said over his shoulder. And keep her out of my office. He left before she could reply, but she caught a faint softness in his tone that hadn't been there before. Later that afternoon, while Lily napped, Maya cleaned the study. The man's office was a shrine of order, everything polished, every file perfectly aligned. But tucked in the corner of the desk, half hidden beneath papers, she found a photo frame face down. She hesitated, then turned it over. It was Adrian, smiling, actually smiling, with a woman beside him holding baby Lily. His late wife, she realized. The happiness in that photo didn't match the cold man upstairs. What happened to you? She whispered. You're not paid to snoop. Maya flinched and spun around. Adrian stood in the doorway, eyes dark, jaw tight. I wasn't snooping, she stammered. I was cleaning. He strode forward, snatching the frame from her hand. Don't touch what isn't yours. Her heart raced. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to remind me of something I've spent years trying to forget? His voice cracked slightly at the end, betraying the emotion he tried to hide. Maya swallowed hard. She must have loved you. That froze him. For a long moment, he said nothing, then, softly, she did. And she died because of me. The confession hit like thunder. Maya stepped closer, instinctively wanting to comfort him, but he stepped back. Don't, he said hoarsely. Just, don't. Then he turned and left, slamming the door behind him. Maya stood in the silence that followed, heart aching. So that was the ghost haunting this house, guilt. That night, a storm rolled in. The rain beat against the windows as thunder growled across the sky. Maya couldn't sleep. She kept hearing footsteps above her, pacing, restless, lonely. Adrian. She finally went upstairs and knocked gently. Mr. Blackwell? No answer. She pushed the door slightly open. He was standing by the window, his silhouette carved in the dim lightning. His shirt sleeves were rolled up, his tie gone, his eyes distant. You should be asleep, he said without looking at her. I couldn't, she replied. Neither could you. He turned then, his face shadowed but softer than she'd ever seen. Why do you care? Because Lily needs her father, Maya said quietly. And because you look like you've forgotten how to live. The room went still. Rain drummed harder. For a long time, he didn't speak. Then he said, almost in a whisper, I don't know how to remember without falling apart. Maya stepped closer. Then let someone help you. He stared at her, something breaking open behind his eyes, raw, vulnerable, dangerous. The kind of look that said she was getting too close. Go to bed, Maya, he murmured. But she didn't move. The tension between them hummed like thunder. She could feel the pull, the invisible thread neither of them wanted to name. Then, abruptly, he looked away. Good night. She swallowed the lump in her throat and whispered, Good night, sir. When she left, he turned back to the window. But this time, he didn't see the storm, he saw her. The next morning, the mansion felt strangely alive. Sunlight streamed through the windows, and for once, the cold marble halls didn't seem so empty. Lily was humming to herself, painting on the living room floor. Maya smiled as she watched the little girl dip her brush into pink paint, her tongue poking out in concentration. Adrian's footsteps echoed behind them. He paused at the doorway, taking in the sight. For the briefest second, something like peace crossed his face. Then he cleared his throat. Maya, he said curtly. She straightened immediately. Yes, sir. I'll be working from home today. See that I'm not disturbed. Yes, Mr. Blackwell, she replied, but his eyes lingered on her a moment too long before he turned away. As soon as he disappeared into his office, Lily piped up, "Daddy looked at you funny." Maya blushed. "No, he didn't." "Yes, he did." Lily giggled. "He looks like that when he's trying not to smile." Maya's cheeks burned hotter. "You have a very good imagination, sweetheart." But the truth was, Lily wasn't wrong. Adrian had looked at her differently lately, like he was seeing her for the first time. It terrified her. She couldn't fall for her boss. Not him. Not when the wall between their worlds was built of money, loss, and pain. Later that afternoon, the sound of glass shattering echoed from upstairs. Maya's heart leapt. She ran toward the noise and pushed open the study door. Adrian stood by the desk, breathing hard, shards of a broken glass scattered across the floor. A crimson streak ran down his hand. "Mr. Blackwell." Maya gasped. "You're bleeding." "It's fine," he muttered. "It's not fine." She grabbed a napkin from the bar cart and reached for his hand before he could protest. "Hold still." He tensed, but didn't pull away. Her fingers brushed his skin, wiping away the blood gently. He watched her, silent, as she worked, eyes tracing her face, her lips, the strand of hair that slipped loose and brushed her cheek. When she was done, she looked up and met his gaze. "You should be more careful." He gave a humorless chuckle. "Careful doesn't suit me." "It should. You have people who need you." He hesitated. "You mean Lily?" "Yes. And maybe," she trailed off, heart pounding, "other people too." The air between them grew thick. He didn't move, didn't breathe. His hand was still in hers, warm and steady. For a moment, it felt like the rest of the world faded away. Then his voice broke the silence, low and rough. "You should leave before I forget you're just an employee." Maya froze, then slowly released his hand. "Of course, sir." She turned to go, her chest aching, but before she reached the door, he said softly, "Maya." She stopped. "Thank you," he murmured. It was the first time he'd said those words to her. She nodded, blinking back tears. "You're welcome." That night, she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face, the loneliness behind the anger, the sorrow behind the strength. And the way he'd looked at her like she was the first warmth he'd felt in years. The next few days, the mansion shifted. Adrian became less of a shadow and more of a presence. He joined them for breakfast twice. He listened when Lily spoke. He even laughed once, a deep, rusty sound that made Maya's heart skip. But peace in the Blackwood mansion never lasted long. One evening, Maya was tucking Lily into bed when she heard voices downstairs, sharp, angry voices. One was Adrian's. The other was unfamiliar. She crept to the top of the stairs and froze. A tall, elegant woman in a red dress stood in the foyer, glaring at Adrian. Her heels clicked like gunfire on the marble floor. "I had a right to know," she snapped. "You promised me we'd talk before you hired another nanny." Maya's stomach twisted. "I don't owe you explanations, Vanessa," Adrian said coldly. Vanessa scoffed. "Really?" "Because last time I checked, we were supposed to be engaged." Maya's breath caught. "Engaged?" She pressed a hand to her chest, backing away quietly before they could see her. But Vanessa's voice rose again, dripping with venom. "And this new one, what's her name?" "Maya? Don't think I haven't noticed how you look at her." "You're slipping, Adrian." "Watch your words," he warned. "Oh, I am," she sneered. "You always said love was a weakness. Maybe you're finally proving yourself wrong." Maya fled to her room, her mind spinning. Engaged? Of course he was. Men like Adrian Blackwood didn't fall for nannies. She was a fool for even feeling anything. Later that night, she heard the front door slam. Minutes later, a quiet knock came at her door. "Maya," Adrian's voice said. She froze. "Come in." He stepped inside, looking tired and human in a way she'd never seen before. "You heard, didn't you?" She swallowed hard. "It wasn't my place to listen." "But you did." "Yes." Her voice broke slightly. "Are you really engaged?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It was arranged years ago. A business alliance. She doesn't care about me, just what my name can buy her." "Then why keep her around?" "Because walking away would mean destroying 3 contracts and 2 partnerships." My father built this company on her family's investments. Maya shook her head. So you're going to marry someone you don't love, just to keep your business safe? His jaw tightened. That's what people like me do, Maya. We make deals, not dreams. Her chest ached. Then I feel sorry for you. He looked at her, really looked at her, and something in his expression shattered. Don't, he said softly. Don't feel sorry for me. She stepped closer without thinking. Then change it. Change what? The way you live. The way you shut everyone out. You're not a machine, Adrian. He stared at her like she was the first light after years of darkness. His hand lifted, just a breath away from touching her face, but he stopped himself. I can't, he whispered. You don't understand what it would cost. Then maybe you're afraid of losing what doesn't matter, she said quietly. Their eyes locked. The silence between them was electric, heavy with everything they wanted to say but couldn't. Then Lily's small voice called from down the hall, Daddy. Adrian blinked, stepping back. Go to bed, Maya. She nodded, blinking away tears. Good night, Mr. Blackwell. He turned toward his daughter's room, but his mind wasn't on Lily. It was on the woman who had just told him the truth no one else dared to say. The next morning, tension hung over the house like a storm cloud. Adrian barely spoke during breakfast. Lily kept glancing between him and Maya, sensing something was wrong even though no one said it. Maya tried to keep her voice steady. Would you like to draw after breakfast, Lily? Before the little girl could answer, Adrian said, Maya, I need to speak with you. Alone. The words chilled her. She nodded and followed him to his office, her stomach twisting. He shut the door behind them and leaned against the desk, his jaw clenched tight. I've decided to end your employment, he said flatly. The world seemed to tilt beneath her feet. What? You've done your job well, but your presence here is disruptive. Disruptive, she repeated, her voice shaking. Because I care about your daughter? Or because you care about me? His eyes hardened. This conversation is over. No, she said firmly. It's not. You can pretend you're made of stone, but I've seen the truth. You laugh when you think no one's watching. You stay up at night staring at the stars because you miss her. You're human, Adrian, whether you like it or not. Enough, he snapped, his control breaking. You think you know me? You think because you played hero to my daughter you can fix everything broken in me. I don't want to fix you, she shouted back. I just want you to stop pretending you don't feel anything. They stood there, breathing hard, eyes locked, anger, hurt, and something deeper burning between them. Then, without warning, Lily's small voice cried from the doorway, Daddy, please don't send Maya away. Adrian froze. Lily stood there in her pajamas, clutching her stuffed bunny, tears streaming down her cheeks. She loves me, Lily sobbed. You said people who love us don't leave. Maya knelt immediately, holding Lily close. Hey, sweetheart, it's okay. No. Lily cried harder. You can't go. Adrian's heart clenched. His daughter's tears, the same ones that had once haunted him, tore through every wall he'd built. He swallowed hard. Lily. But before he could finish, Lily suddenly wobbled, her face pale. Lily? Maya said quickly. Honey, what's wrong? The little girl swayed, then collapsed against Maya's chest. Lily. Adrian's voice broke as he rushed forward. Maya scooped the girl into her arms, panic flooding her. She's burning up, Maya gasped. We need a doctor now. Adrian didn't hesitate. He grabbed his phone, calling his private physician. Within minutes, the house turned into chaos, nurses, doctors, tension thick in the air. Hours later, the diagnosis came, an infection. Dangerous, but treatable. Lily was resting now, her small body weak but stable. Adrian stood by her bed, his hand trembling as he brushed her hair from her forehead. Maya watched him quietly, tears in her own eyes. She'll be okay, Maya whispered. You got here in time. He turned to her, his expression raw. If you hadn't been here. Don't, she said softly. You're her father. You would have done anything. He shook his head. I don't know anymore. I've been so busy trying not to feel that I almost forgot what it means to care. Maya stepped closer, her voice trembling. Then start now. He looked at her, really looked, and something in him broke completely. I fired you because I was afraid, he admitted hoarsely. Afraid of what I feel when I look at you. Afraid that you'd see how much I've fallen. Maya's breath hitched. Adrian. I tried to bury it, but I can't anymore. He reached for her hand. You remind me that I'm still alive. That I can still love. She stared at him, tears glimmering in her eyes. And what about Vanessa? Your perfect business deal. I called it off, he said simply. Let her ruin every contract I have if she wants. None of it matters if I have nothing real. Her heart pounded. Are you sure? He nodded. For the first time in years. Maya felt her breath catch as he lifted her hand, pressing it against his chest. His heartbeat thudded strong beneath her palm. I don't deserve you, he said quietly. But I want to try. For Lily. For you. Maya smiled through tears. You don't have to be perfect, Adrian. Just be honest. He exhaled shakily. Then honestly, his voice dropped to a whisper. I'm in love with you. Her eyes closed, tears slipping free. I know, she breathed. Because I'm in love with you too. He reached for her then, no hesitation, no pretense, and kissed her. It wasn't desperate or wild, but deep and real, full of everything they'd both been too afraid to say. When they finally pulled apart, Lily stirred on the bed, blinking up at them sleepily. Daddy? Adrian smiled gently. Hey, sweetheart. Are you and Maya happy now? She mumbled, half asleep. Maya laughed softly through her tears. We're trying, baby. Lily smiled faintly. Good. 'Cause I prayed for that. Adrian looked at Maya, awe flickering in his eyes. For once, he wasn't the cold billionaire or the grieving widower. He was just a man who'd finally found his way back to life. Days turned into weeks. Lily recovered fully, her laughter once again filling the mansion. Adrian changed, he smiled more, worked less, and let himself breathe. One afternoon, Maya was in the garden helping Lily pick flowers when Adrian stepped outside, sleeves rolled up, the sun catching in his hair. Lily ran to him, holding up a daisy. Daddy, we're making a crown for Maya. Adrian chuckled, kneeling beside her. Is that so? Yes, Lily said proudly. Because she's our princess now. Maya flushed, laughing softly. Adrian looked at her, his eyes warm and sure. I was thinking the same thing, he said quietly. Only not a crown. Maya blinked. What do you mean? He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Her breath caught. Adrian. He opened it, a simple, beautiful ring glinting in the sunlight. You came into my home and healed more than you'll ever know. I don't want another day to pass pretending I can live without you. Lily squealed, clapping her hands. Say yes, Maya. Maya's voice broke. Yes. Adrian slipped the ring onto her finger and pulled her into his arms. For the first time in forever, the mansion didn't feel haunted anymore. It felt like home. And somewhere in the laughter and sunlight, the man who once swore he'd never love again finally found peace in the arms of the woman who refused to give up on him. Tell us what you would do differently in comments if you were Maya.